Example 10.5. Let's assume we have two stocks, Spirit and United. Table 10.5 contains average monthly return during normal times, recession, and boom times for each of these stocks based on data from 2011. So in boom times, Spirit gives 4.44%. During normal times, it gives 2.47%. And in recession, because it's a low-cost carrier, it gives a very high 5.3% return, 5.27% return. United, being legacy carrier, gives the highest in boom times, 5.34%, normal times 3.55%, and recession minus 2.75%. If we invested only in the UAL stock, we'd get higher returns during the boom times, but lower returns during recession. On the other hand, if we invested only in Spirit, we'd have to wait for a recession to yield more than 5% per month. What are the risks and returns associated with each stock? And a portfolio of two stocks if we had 40% Spirit and 60% United in our portfolio. So let's go to Excel to figure it out. So I've already put the boom time, recession, and normal times here with their probabilities and their portfolio weights and their returns respectively. First step is to find out the expected return of each. So equals some product of this, and we'll have to put the dollar sign to fix these cells because we don't want the probability weights to wobble around when we move the formula. So $AC, $5, then comma, shift down, 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 83 to 85. So this is the return from Spirit Airline. Because we fixed the probabilities, we can simply Control R and find out the expected returns from United Airlines. So expected returns from Spirit across all times is 3.7%, and from United across all times is 2.46% approximately, which is what we get here. Next step is to find out the risk. So to do that, we have to find out the squared deviation from Spirit. So equals parenthesis the actual return minus the expected return. And here we'll fix the AD, not the AD, but the 6. So because we don't want to go down as we go to the bottom, as we go lower, as we paste this down, and we're going to paste this to the right as well. As we paste this to the right, we want the AD to become AE. And so this gets a square sign because that's deviation squared. And then press enter, Control D, Control D. To find out the variance, we have to take the sum product of the probability weights, just like this function here, except that the probabilities would remain constant. So that's the variance. And the standard deviation is the square root of this. So 1.22%. There you go, 1.22%. Now let's do the same thing with deviation of United. Now in this case, again, we can see it's AD6, not $80, $6. So if we copy and paste it to the right using Control R key, the whole thing has shifted to the right, but it's not going to move down as we move down. So the expected value of United Airlines returns is going to be staying put where it is. So Control D, Control D, now Control R will give us the sum product of the probabilities and the deviation squared. And then finally, Control R, the square root of the above, will give us a standard deviation for United Airlines. So we'll just say standard deviation right here. And 3.1% is exactly what we got here. All right, now let's go to the portfolio. So equals this times this. Now here, it's going to be AD $2. We will, if we move to the, well, the 2 is fixed. As we move down, it's going to be what it is. So, and then AE 3 times AE $2. So again, $2. So as we move down, you can see the weights are still the same, 0.4 and 0.6, but the returns switch from boom to normal, and in this case, as I do Control D, to recession. So these are the portfolio returns. And notice how the portfolio is returning pretty nicely across all times. Now we will take the sum product again. So any of these formulae, copy that and Control V. So you can see it's taking some product of the portfolio returns with the probability weights of boom time, normal time, and recession. And then Control R it, well, we don't need to Control R it because this is just a average value from the portfolio. Next, we have to take the squared deviation. So to take the squared deviation, again, because all the formulae are in place, we'll do it slowly. Let's just copy and paste one element of the formula. So you can see, oh, sorry, it's not doing the right thing. How about this? It's still not going to do the right thing. Oh, okay. We'll have to change this from AG to AH. And this also from AG to AH. And that'll do it for us. So this is the deviation squared of the portfolio for boom times, for normal times, and using Control D again, recession. That's why you should take it easy a little bit. Okay, next is to find out the sum product of the squared deviation to find the variance. So there it is, sum product of the deviation squared across the probability weights across each time. And then the last step is to Control C, Control V. The square root of that is the portfolio standard deviation of 1.637%. And we see the same results right here. 1.64% is a portfolio standard deviation. Now, what do we learn from here? The standard deviation of Spirit is 1.2%. Standard deviation of United is 3.1% approximately. And the portfolio standard deviation is 1.6%. The portfolio and on the average gives us 2.95% across all times. So our returns have gone between those for Spirit and United, but our standard deviation has also gone between Spirit and United. So 1.2 and 3.1%. So that's the advantage of creating a portfolio. You do tend to take on a little bit more risk and a little bit better return than each of the individual stocks. And that is example 10.5. Thank you for listening.